Good morning. I'm Melanie Clunan-Schulte, and I'd like to welcome you to Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation on this first day of February, from the Latin februa, to cleanse, named after the Roman Februalia, a month-long festival of purification and atonement. Another fun fact, it is on average the snowiest month in the US in places that aren't here. And of course, it is also Black History Month, which was first recognized in 1976 as a way to honor the contributions of African Americans during the nation's bicentennial. 50 years later, this marks the nation's semi-quincentennial, and I'm not sure those contributions have yet been properly honored. I was at a fund event yesterday, and by the way, our new fund auction starts today at noon, and many thanks to the committee members who worked so hard on that. Yeah, I think some of them are still lingering outside, so I won't have them stand, but if you see them in their yellow shirts, make sure to thank them. But the event yesterday was a history of American dance crazes. And our member, Jessica Blond, discussed how African dance commingled with and frequently was co-opted by white dance traditions, with people like Elvis gaining fame for doing moves that originated in Black American culture. The same has happened and is still happening in music and in language. Just a week ago, a Saturday Night Live sketch parodying young people's lingo contained the lines, "Gen Z slang is African American slang." Basically, Black people start saying something, then young people think it's cool, so they start saying it, then white people say it, and once Elon Musk says it, it's over. The Black experience is not a side note in American history, but is in fact at the core of American history, shaping American culture from long before the United States was even an independent nation. The names of many of those African American originators are lost to history. But maybe this Black History Month, we can learn more about those who aren't. Names like Gladys West, the 95-year-old mathematician that made GPS possible, who just died last month. And as somebody with no sense of direction, thank you, Gladys. And now we haven't done this for a while, but let's welcome each other by giving a brief greeting to those sitting around you. All right, it's great to hear such lively conversation, but let's come back. We don't want to bore our friends that are online, and actually let's wave to them and greet them now. Camera up there at the front. And if you're with us for the first time today, would you stand and let us give you a special welcome? So glad to have you joining us. Our member Doug will host a welcome circle after the service and would love for you to join. It'll be over there by the windows. You can ask any questions you may have. Is Doug? There's Doug, so you can recognize him. And we also have a QR code that visitors can use to sign in and help us connect with you. Also after the service, our lay pastoral care associates will be available. Magnus Hawthorne will be online and will host the Zoom room. And Adrian O'Donnell will be available to lend a listening ear in the sanctuary. There's Adrian at the back. Of course, there will also be coffee and refreshments available after the service, and time to catch up with friends, or perhaps inspired by Deanne last week, to make some new ones. So all of that is happening after the service, but what about during the service? Well, our settled minister is on sabbatical, and it is my honor to welcome into our pulpit Reverend Patrice K. Curtis, UUA Transformational Interim Ministries Director. Reverend Patrice collaborates with and supports ministers and religious educators in amplifying belonging, diversity, equity, and inclusion within congregations, and in challenging unhealthy patterns that make beloved communities difficult to realize. Before their ministry at the UUA, Reverend Patrice served 3 congregations, the Church of the Larger Fellowship and the UU Justice Ministry in California. We are delighted to have them with us today to share musings about what is going on under our feet and what that has to teach us about interconnectedness. And now, let's light our chalice. We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice.
Our reading to open our time together is Our Shared Hope for the World by Pat Rebe-Lichte. The chalice we light this morning is a symbol of our faith. It binds us together as one people, a reminder that our strength is in our shared hope for the world, and that our common work is the creation of beloved community among ourselves and in the world.
Invite some extra singers forward. I hope she doesn't mind my telling you this, but Beth Wyman was going to be one of our singers today. She broke her leg yesterday. I'm sorry, Beth, maybe you didn't want people to know that, but now it's out there. So she is at home on crutches in an immobilizing cast. Obviously, she's not here today. So I invited Allie and Whitney. We're going to sing Anyway with me and Beth. But I've invited some other folks forward in the Spirit Choir to help us sing our opening song, which is Gathered Here. It's number 389 in the gray hymnal. Please rise in body or spirit. We're going to sing it once through together, and then this side of the Spirit Choir is going to lead you folks, and this side is going to lead you folks, and we'll do it in a round 2 more times.
Yeah. I haven't done Time for All Ages in a while. Hi, how are you? Good morning. Today is the 1st February of, hi, so nice to see you. Hi, yes, come join us. Thank you so much. Today is the first Sunday of February. It's a very special month. Does anyone know what this month signifies? What we're celebrating this month? Yes. It's Black History Month. It's Black History Month. And yes, Harriet Tubman is one of my heroes, and I'm so honored to share the work of this practitioner. Their name is Eli Ryn Brown. This is all of the images. It's a zine that they have made that you can also get. And I wanted to share a practice with you all in the story of Harriet Tubman, but also so excited to be here with our congregational member, Roz Hawkins, who's going to share her wisdom about what Harriet Tubman means to her.
Good morning. It is indeed a pleasure to be able to be here with you today in celebration of so many things. And Black History Month is my estimation every month, but but for today, you see a picture of her up on the screen, Harriet Tubman, and she is considered such a forerunner in her time because she got into what we would call today good trouble. Good trouble. And what does that mean? When she saw wrong, she tried to make it right at great personal sacrifice. And sometimes when we see someone hurting someone else, we need to speak up. And Harriet Tubman never really declared any special religion, but she was a highly spiritual person. And she took her signs from nature, from the earth, from what she saw in the sky, and she followed it to a T to help other people be free. So today's lesson, if you get a chance, is to read about Harriet Tubman, the woman who went against all odds and helped people become free. Not because it was easy, but because it was right. So, good morning. I hope you take this opportunity during this month to learn more about all of the things. And I was in the class yesterday with Melanie and learning the impact that the African American culture had on the European culture and the things that we share in common as we learn that we have so much in common needs to be our central theme for this month. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, Roz. And I think one of the most impactful legacies that Harriet Tubman has in terms of our abolitionist lineage right now is in how she provided care and protection for people, and she really, that ripple effect of culture, of care and protection through the ages. So I wanted to ask you, I know it's a vulnerable moment, we didn't get to really practice this, but I'd love to hear what if you can come up with any ideas of what looks like care for you and your family, and what looks like protection for you and your family, so that we can rise to meet the moment. Pressure.
I'm sorry, ask that again.
When do you feel cared for by our congregation?
Actually, Beverly?
Thank you for speaking on that. I think I missed some of it though. So, did you say 25? You came here 25 years later, and you're still here. Thank you for being here and for sharing your wisdom as well. You want to move on to the next slide, or do you want to answer? Okay. I do have some worksheets for the classrooms, and for the young at heart, they will be on the back table on Harriet Tubman. And for this one, I would like to share with you a grounding breath and a hum, and invite you to make some noise while you breathe. So take a moment to settle into a posture that feels sustainable for taking a few deep breaths for the next couple of minutes. Perhaps you can invite some warmth in holding into this moment. Probably don't have a blanket or a cup of tea, but I know that when I need warmth, I put my hands on my neck, or I hold my hands together. Take a few deep, slow breaths. In, out through the mouth. Letting that whole breath go down the spine. Dropping the shoulders. Letting your hips shake or wriggle, or however your body wants to be in this moment. In this next breath, when you breathe out, I want you to take a nice big sigh and let it all out. Breathe in. And let it all out. Listen to the teachings arising in your body. Maybe it's pain, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's a yearning. Return your hands to your chest or belly, and in this next slow breath, to fill your belly, your back, your torso, your hips, your pelvis. On the exhale, hum until you run out of breath and the sound naturally ceases. Let it be an opportunity to feel the vibrations and power of your voice. May the physical sound waves fill the room with your deep yearning for liberation and freedom for all of us. May we learn to hear the ancestors in our sighs and our songs. Thank you. And with that, we're going to move on to Lights of Love. Thank you for joining me with that breath work.
We're going to sing the kids out to This Little Light of Mine, a traditional African American spiritual. So please rise as you are able, in body or spirit, and we'll sing the kids out.
So I invite you to place your feet firmly and flatly on the ground, to feel the assuredness of earth holding you. You are held. Breathe in and breathe out longer. Breathe in for 4 and out for 6. Let your body and your muscles relax again, melt into your chair. You are held. Soften your belly. Let it hang out. Let it be free from tension. Breathe in and breathe out longer. You are held. And let your shoulders relax too. And as you do, notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. Breathe in for 4, breathe out for 6 or 7 or 8. You are held. Listen for others breathing with you. Feel those beside you breathing with you here in this sanctuary. You are held. Feeling each other breathe softly, our bodies rising and falling together, we are reminded that we are not alone. Imagine every person on this planet breathing with you as they are. One body, one people. You are held by the love flowing in, among, and around all that is. You are held. Let us sit and notice this love and the breath of our bodies for a brief time of silence. Namaste.
As always, during the centering music, you can feel free to continue to do the breathing exercise, or you can get up and engage in one of our rituals over by the side windows, lighting a candle, add some water to our fountain, or move a stone.
I hear music in the air.
Now I want to offer a reading by Jared K. Anderson called Definitions. Soil, air, sea, basic words for complex things. Language is amazing, but it compresses huge, messy concepts into tidy signifiers like overstuffed pockets. Unpack the common words. See what's hiding inside. Stone, sun, tree, not simple, fundamental, each an invitation. I so appreciate a pair of hiking boots, a pair that makes me feel rugged and capable, like they will take me into great adventures. I got my first pair of hiking boots in junior high and have had a pair, sometimes two, almost all of my life since then. I've worn my hiking boots to fascinating places around the world, another story, and our own desert, from the north to our southern borderlands. But what I don't want to do is track inside the house the tiny particles of desert sand or dirt or garden soil or urban living that cling to the grooves of hiking soles. Unfortunately, especially if it's your household chore to sweep the floors, even kicking off shoes at the front door doesn't prevent dirt from making its way inside. Dirt is our life's companion. It gets into our shoes, sticks to our socks and pants, then settles into the corners of our living rooms to say hi. We tend to think of dirt, what's underfoot when we're out in nature, as something we shake off, something we have to sweep away into a dustpan. But what if the dirt underfoot is not insignificant? What if underfoot is the place where the world is quietly being made? When we go on a hike, we often seek nature's grandeur, the rim of the canyon, volcanic lakes, wadis that fill from the bursts of sudden rains, the striated reds and oranges of buttes carved by wind into flat tops. We go to be soothed, to lay down our heart pains, to spread our arms in pure bliss and wonder, to bathe in big sky, to play on snow-covered mountains, to smell 100-year-old pines baking in the sun, to marvel over cacti laden with prickly pear fruit. We move through nature to find the doorway to whatever we call holy or sacred. What we tend to overlook is the dirt, the sand, the soil, the stuff constantly and always underfoot, the stuff upon which this planet rests, everything on this planet, even in the depths of oceans. The desert soils underfoot are teeming with life, including bacteria, algae, lichens, and moss. Bacteria creates a sticky material that binds soil particles together. Then lichens take the soil particles that are bound together and they create thread-like structures. Then multicelled creatures, still microscopic, like nematodes, create passageways and tunnels that trap air and water. So dirt is far from dead. Rather, it turns out to be living architecture. The actions of microscopic life happen without sentient intention, at least not the sentience that we know of. Yet the impact of their behavior is profound, creating microscopic structures under our feet that provide support for varied life, including plants, and trees and hummingbirds, and coyotes, and you and me. Most bacteria, most of the time, exists in limbo, present but dormant. But when a plant root pushes in, or when the rains come, they start to talk to one another. The plant root sends signals that awakens the bacteria. Beneath our feet is a world of relationships, signal and response, giving and receiving, waking and being awakened. Each of us helps build an underfoot world ourselves with our attention and intention. When you look at human life, you realize that each of us is a small particle on this planet, ordinary in the grand scheme of the universe, perhaps easy to dismiss on our own, but when we're bound together by care, by trust, by love, we become the soil of life, a living ground that can affirm thriving for all. We bind together as we move alongside one another in small ways, with the tone of voice we use with one another, with our purchases and boycotts and where we choose to shop, with the authors, the bloggers, and social media we read and pay attention to, with the Buddhist practice of dedicating merit and wisdom to the greater good, with how much further you are willing to go for what you need, even if it's inconvenient to support love at the center, helping to fund groups that are fighting illegal deportations, donating food to help those who are hungry, helping migrants who risked their life supporting American troops in Afghanistan and elsewhere, helping them make a new life here with their families. You might be making regular calls to your elected officials from city council to the Senate. You might be showing up for local rallies, standing on street corners and waving signs and blowing whistles. You may be praying that a person, a group, a community, the world finds its way toward peace. During the Minneapolis March, you may have meditated on something like a simple phrase, "May all who could harm another choose peace instead." Every action that amplifies compassion and love, that resists hate, matters deeply. You must engage. But maybe you feel embarrassed or sad or disappointed about your level of engagement. You think about those in your communities who are holding their breath, families who live with the fear that a day begins normally only to end in crisis with a loved one disappeared. You've read about people who avoid clinics, schools, public spaces, even churches, because being seen feels risky. You watched videos and followed social media as a day of action in Minneapolis unfolded, and you told yourself, I didn't go to Minneapolis, therefore I'm not doing enough. I don't have any extra money to send, so I can't help enough. I'm a terrible writer, or I have no time to write a letter to the editor or a postcard to a voter. I'm so lazy. I'm afraid to speak up to neighbors or family or friends. I'm such a scaredy cat. The truth is, as the Underfoot world shows us, we don't always need to be prepared for big actions. Truth is, we are not all equipped with the skills needed for big actions. It doesn't matter. All of us know how to do many very small things. Those who went to Minneapolis were so thankful for the piles of woolen socks and gloves and hats that they found when they arrived to make it possible to survive in minus 20-degree weather. Some traveled from Florida and couldn't even find wool socks to buy in their community. Every person who brought a glove or a hat to that pile was doing a micro action, but all of those micro actions meant that no one had cold feet. Every micro action counts. Uh-oh, I'm going to sneeze. One of those people who sneezes a lot. This may take a minute. Thank you, thank you. Maybe that will do it. All right. Underfoot is where resistance begins. Mostly not in the spotlight. Mostly not with a microphone. Mostly together, because we are part of communal gatherings, apartment buildings, neighborhoods, sometimes communities like this congregation. In those places, you can be part of demanding justice from wherever you are by paying attention, by reposting what is happening, by refusing to accept what you know is wrong and making choices that reflect that. Your small acts matter. Your $5 spent here instead of there matters. Your private decisions about how you spend your time and with whom you spend your time matters. Your no one knows but you actions matter. Because the foundation of the living world is built underfoot by accumulation. If terrible events happen in a city far from us, we want to be there to offer succor, to be part of the resistance. But dirt doesn't work that way. It works where it is, because it needs to be everywhere anything is going to grow. The desert sands remind us that communal actions help life survive and thrive. The soil calls to us to realize that support for thousands to march occurs through the accumulation of big and micro actions woven together. That conscious underground resistance takes innumerable forms. You may go to a march and no one ever knows that you were there. But you know that you were there. And the people who walked alongside you knew that you were there. Matters. Do you pray, sending hope that those building networks of resistance are protected from harm? Do you sit and offer any merit and wisdom you gain to go to those providing an underground railroad to women in need of reproductive care that is now deemed illegal? Do you shop and in the checkout share a few words with other shoppers and offer a smile and a have a good day and I appreciate you to the checkers? Do you eat at restaurants? Then be sure to tell the server, the bussers, the dishwashers that you appreciate them. Attention from a stranger powerfully increases our sense of well-being. And that stranger you talk to may need to be wary walking home, or may have then decided to take time off to attend a rally because they felt strong and seen. A lab study at the University of North Carolina studies these micro moments between people, these fleeting interactions between us. between people who don't know one another, like catching someone's eye and smiling, offering a quick smile, having a brief chat, holding the door as someone is approaching. It turns out these micro moments with strangers boost our mood. As the lab says, when two people share a sense of uplift, mutual warmth, and care, even in a brief moment, those moments accumulate into meaningful psychological benefits. What do we need to resist? We need strength. We need to feel well. We need to feel grounded. Kindness practices matter. They make room for breath. They hold the moisture of love. They let roots reach deep. They create quiet resilience. Underfoot is where resistance begins. It also might look like showing up as a calm bystander, filming the act of a child used as bait to deport their parents. It might look like calling elected officials to demand oversight and accountability, or writing one more letter to an elected official who has forsaken their oath to serve the people who elected them. These are not glamorous tasks, and they are powerful precisely because they guide and alter the structure of the ground. The microscopic life living in dirt supports miles of tiny underground roots. If you were to map your life through such micro moments, laying head to foot all the people you don't know that you've spoken to, you too probably have miles of underground roots. In all those small ways, you are affirming life. As you move through this week, move through the next week, move through the halls of your workplace while you're pumping gas, waiting in line at the bank, here is an invitational question to ask yourself. In this moment, am I building life underfoot? So Zerd offers a gentle rebuke to our obsession with the dramatic. It reminds us that the world is made by microscopic acts working together over time, and every once in a while, there's a dramatic act. But may we choose to build the kind of hidden structures that affirm life. May we practice attention that becomes intentional. May we practice intention that is caring, that supports and creates reliable pathways away from harm for all, so that in times of fear, people can find their way to each other, to safety, to love. When you're tempted to believe that your small acts do not matter, may you remember the life that is underfoot when you're out in your garden. Remember that the very sands and soils and mud and clay are shaped by countless tiny acts by single-celled life, and that upon their work lies the life of the world. May we be worthy. Namaste, and may it be so.
So today is officially the last day of our stewardship campaign. So if you haven't yet made your pledge, please do so. There is still time. Any amount is welcome, but if you're thinking, nah, I don't need to pledge, I just, put something in the plate when I go on Sundays, please remember that the pledges are used to set the budget and for planning, which is not to say that things put in the plate are unappreciated, and to that end, will the ushers please come forward?
We have a congregational hymn for our offertory this morning, so we're going to kind of do a reverse wave. So as you put your money in the plate, as Melanie has requested, you may rise in body or spirit, and so we'll kind of do a whoop thing. Why not? Linda's going to play it through once for us, and Tom. Reverend Patrice has asked us to repeat Resilience, which was our gathering song, but many of you were out bidding on lovely things for the auction, or looking at what's available, I guess. So we're going to sing it again, and this time y'all can rise up with us. Sing fiercely.
There is trouble somewhere. Yes, oh, there is trouble in this world. Is there not? Yes. But there is love somewhere. Yes? Yes. Is there love here? Yes. Turn to your neighbor and whisper, like the quiet work of bacteria underfoot. There is love here. Turn to your other neighbor and whisper, love will win. There is love here. There is love surrounding all of us. And in these times, remember that love will win. Amen.
You all get to rise in body or spirit again. Our closing song is 10:08 in the Teal hymnal, if you have one, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Please join with me in the words by which we extinguish our chalice. Though we extinguish the chalice, our connection to each other and this community remains. May its light guide us this week as we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, and fill our world with compassion until we meet again. Go in peace.